Breaking now, Princess Leonor wedding stuns Denmark. Imagine, a crisp spring morning in Copenhagen. The streets are buzzing, royal watchers, cameras, whispers. The Danish flag flies high, fluttering in the wind. But it's not a typical state visit. This time, the guest of honor isn't just any European princess. It's Princess Leonor of Spain. And she's about to marry into the Danish royal family. Wait, what? Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, tying the knot, in Denmark. Yes, you heard that right. In a move no one saw coming, Leonor is walking down the aisle, not in Madrid or Barcelona, but in a grand cathedral in Copenhagen, under the shadow of Danish spires. This isn't just a royal wedding. It's a seismic shift. The world expected a quiet, traditional Spanish ceremony someday. Instead, she's forging a bold, cross-national love story, and the implications. They're huge. Stay with me, because in the next 40 minutes, we're diving deep, how this wedding unfolded, what it means for Spain, for Denmark, for European monarchy, and why this story is rewriting the royal rulebook. Setting the stage. Let's rewind. Princess Leonor, born in 2005, has been under the global spotlight for years. As the heir apparent to King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, she's grown up in a world of expectation, but also transformation. In 2025, she's not just a princess, she's a cadet pilot, a symbol of modern royalty. Earlier this year, Leonor began the final year of her military training at Spain's General Air and Space Academy in San Javier. She walked into the cockpit of a PC-21 training aircraft, determined, focused, dreaming. Her first solo flight. Sources estimate it could happen as early as Christmas. She's not content with palace life, she's earned her stripes. Before that, she spent months at sea aboard the Juan Sebastián Elcano, navigating 17,000 nautical miles. She learned seamanship, astronomy, meteorology, diplomatic grace. And in June, she reunited with her sister Infanta Sofia in Gijón after a long absence. In mid-2025, Leonor also made history off-duty. She was named adopted daughter of Marin, becoming the first royal to hold that title. Through all of it, she's matured, in duty, in public role, in style. She's borrowed a blue-white maxi dress from her mom, Queen Letizia, and turned a suit by Blaise Madrid into a red carpet moment at the Princess of Girona Awards. She's proving that she's not just a future queen, she's a modern one. The shock announcement. Then late one evening, the bombshell dropped. A joint statement from the Spanish royal household and the Danish royal court. Princess Leonor is engaged to Prince Christian of Denmark. Yes, Prince Christian, the young Danish heir, charming, dignified, educated, and with a certain Scandinavian calm. The announcement was short, but its reverberations were massive. Why Denmark, of all places? Why now, when Leonor is deep into her military training, when Spain itself is navigating complex political waters around the monarchy? The world had questions, and there were no easy answers. Reactions and ripple effects. Shock was immediate. In Spain, royal watchers and political commentators scrambled. Some saw it as a brilliant diplomatic alliance, a bridge between Spain and the Nordic world, a way to modernize the royal brand. Others saw risk, the possible dilution of Spanish royal identity, the logistics of succession, possible constitutional ramifications. In Denmark, the reaction was equally electric. The Danish people, long proud of their monarchy's stability and tradition, were suddenly confronted with the idea of a Spanish heir joining their royal family. Some fans celebrated a global love story. Others whispered, will Leonor move to Copenhagen? Will she learn Danish? What about Spanish culture? Meanwhile, on social media, the news broke like wildfire. Memes, think pieces, speculation, everyone from royal pundits to university students had an opinion. Would this be the 21st century royal version of Game of Thrones, minus the dragons but with serious dynastic weight? The wedding itself, scene by scene. Fast forward to the wedding day. The chosen venue. Rosenborg Castle Chapel in Copenhagen, a glowing jewel in the Danish royal landscape. The chapel, bathed in soft morning light, stood ready to host what many called the love summit of European royalty. Leonor arrives, not in a big, overly ornate Spanish-style gown, but something chic, modern, a delicate fusion, pure white silk, a hint of lace inspired by Spanish mantilla design, but tailored in a sleek Scandinavian silhouette. Her hair is swept back, minimal jewelry, and she carries a bouquet of white peonies and Nordic wildflowers, symbolic of her Spanish roots and her new Danish future. She walks down the aisle, accompanied by her father, King Felipe, who holds back visible emotion. Queen Letizia stands nearby, composed but proud, memories flickering across her eyes, the daughter she raised, now stepping into a new life. Across the aisle is Prince Christian, impeccably dressed in Danish royal uniform, his expression calm, but his eyes soft, locked on Leonor. At his side are his parents, the King and Queen of Denmark, dignified, welcoming. The ceremony itself is a blend of tradition and modernity, Spanish prayers and readings, a Danish hymn, a vow in both Spanish and Danish. There are moments of laughter, a gentle tear here and there. The exchange of rings, a platinum band for Christian, a curved gold one for Leonor, set with a tiny sapphire, represents a union of two cultures. The crowd outside is electric, Spanish dignitaries, Nordic royalty, heads of state. Cameras flash. The video of the ceremony immediately goes viral. Social media lights up with admiration, love, and yes, plenty of debate. Emotional undertones and personal dimensions. It wasn't just a royal wedding. For Leonor, this was a deeply personal leap. She had trained rigorously in Madrid, Zaragoza, Marin, San Javier, forging discipline, duty, and purpose. But love, that's different. Saying yes to Christian meant saying yes to a new life, a new language, new traditions, and leaving behind parts of what she knows. There were tough conversations. Would she continue her Spanish military career? Would she move full-time to Denmark? Or split her life between both countries? Reports suggest that in private, Leonor and Christian decided they would weave both lives together, dual residences, support for her Spanish duties, and a future built on mutual respect. Her parents were deeply involved. King Felipe, who once looked into Leonor's eyes on deck of the Elcano ship, now watched her walk down the aisle. Queen Letizia, who taught her about public life and personal style, stood by her with quiet pride. The reconciliation felt generational, from Spanish tradition to Nordic modernity. Political and monarchic implications. This wedding is not just about two people. It's a statement. From a geopolitical point of view, the union strengthens ties between Spain and Denmark, both constitutional monarchies, both facing the future of monarchy in the 21st century. For Spain, Leonor's marriage brings a fresh, pan-European legitimacy, a symbol that the monarchy isn't stuck in historic isolation. For Denmark, welcoming Leonor signals openness, diversity, and an embrace of broader European identity. But there are challenges too. Questions about succession arise. When Leonor eventually becomes Queen of Spain, how will her Danish connection affect the line? What about her children, born in Denmark, raised bilingual, raised in both cultures? Which throne would they lean toward? There's also constitutional speculation. Spain's monarchy is largely ceremonial, and Leonor retains her Spanish titles. But critics ask, would a queen consort of Spanish origin someday influence Danish politics, or would she remain symbolic? Monarchists scramble to analyze precedent, constitutional scholars weigh competing claims. Then there's the optics. The younger generation of royals across Europe have been reshaping roles. Leonor, who speaks Catalan, she gave a notable speech in Catalan at the Princess of Girona Awards. She's not just a princess in waiting, she embodies a modern, multilingual, cross-border monarchy. Public reaction and cultural impact. Back home in Spain, the public reaction is mixed but hopeful. Some Spaniards celebrate. Finally, Leonor is free to love and choose her destiny. Others worry, will her Spanish identity fade? Royal gossip columns buzz. Fashion critics praise her wedding look. Social media influencers reflect on the symbolic nature of a young heir embracing Europe rather than isolation. In Denmark, citizens are charmed. Many see her as a breath of fresh air. Young Danes, particularly, are thrilled that the monarchy is keeping pace with globalization. Her involvement in Denmark's royal life, even attending public engagements, speeches, philanthropic work, is already being mapped out. Media across Europe positions this as more than a wedding. This is a royal repositioning. A merging of traditions. A love story with diplomatic weight. Looking ahead, what this means for the future. So what's next, beyond the fairy tale? In Spain, Leonor continues her military training. Many speculate she'll finish her time in San Javier, then perhaps return to serve in a dual role, both royal and officer. If she gives up flying full-time, she may still keep a symbolic commission in the Spanish Air and Space Force. In Denmark, she and Christian are expected to carve out a shared life in their 20s. Reports hint she'll take part in Danish philanthropic initiatives, maybe youth work, maybe climate activism, areas she's already passionate about. Politically, this could spark renewed debate around monarchy reform in both nations. Will other European houses follow? Will cross-national royal unions become a new trend? Could such marriages reshape public perceptions of monarchy, making them less insular and more global? Culturally, the children of Leonor and Christian could be truly European, raised in two languages, two traditions, inheriting a legacy rooted in both Spain's fiery history and Denmark's modern monarchy. For royal watchers, it's a goldmine. For skeptics, it's risky. For romantics, it's the love story of a generation. Wrap up and emotional close. So here we are, at the end of a story that began with shock but became something much bigger than a headline. Princess Leonor's wedding in Denmark is not just royal gossip. It's a turning point. We saw a young woman, heir to the Spanish throne, choose love in a way no one expected. We saw two royal families, Spanish and Danish, merge histories, hopes, and futures. We saw a monarchy that's not frozen in tradition but alive, dynamic, willing to evolve. This wedding stunned Denmark. But in a way, it stunned all of Europe, not because of scandal, but because of possibility. It whispered, monarchy can be modern. It can stretch beyond borders. It can bring together hearts, cultures, and nations. And for Princess Leonor and Prince Christian, their journey is just beginning.